Thank you all. Thank you for being here. Thank you also to Isabel and to Maria Chiara for the amazing talk. We need to have more talks like these in this stage. So my name is Luis Martins. I am working, so in my day job, I work at an industrial augmented reality startup. I am the CMO of KidsAR. But besides that, I also collaborate with XR Safety Intelligence, and I'm here to tell you a bit more about, to try and connect safety and privacy with XR advertising, so it's going to be fun, strap on. So, first of all, talking a bit about what XRSI is. So XRSI is, as you see, a global network of experts. It's an organization dedicated to privacy or safeguarding privacy and safety across immersive worlds, virtual worlds, and, well, the metaverse. Right now, XRSI is already cooperating with a number of organizations worldwide. And besides that, XRSI has a number of specific initiatives to address also safety and privacy in specific markets, namely XRSI, that is right now building standards for the health services practice, and that is aimed not just in defining or creating standards to correctly address and handle and protect patient data, but also providing safety to when we're talking about meaningful XR experiences and trying to safeguard that the only purposeful collection of data happens. Besides that, there's also the Child Safety Initiative that, in itself, it's self-explanatory, which is also working on a comprehensive toolkit called a Guardians and Shield framework to safeguard children in immersive digital environments. Finally, there's also the Cyber XR Coalition that is promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion, and with their Beyond Inclusion Scholarship, and along with Meta also and the XR Bootcamp, they're funding skill-to-job-ready educational programs for underrepresented talents. So all in all, these are the work groups already existing in XRSI. Of course, XRSI was also the first one to present the XRSI privacy framework, so a framework aimed to enable creators and to enable builders to have or to apply privacy and safety guidelines within their work. So this is the work that has been done, and it is being done by volunteers, namely, for instance, the framework, the privacy framework, actually remains to be the only freely and globally accessible standard guideline available online for these matters. And we're all working as volunteers, myself being one, in trying to address the topics right now when they really matter, because we do believe that if we don't, then we will start talking about, dystopia, talking about issues, talking a lot more about dystopia and a lot more about regulation. And usually that's what happens when I talk with my fellow marketers, with my fellow digital marketing professionals, when I start talking to them about, okay, so let's talk a bit about what do you think about privacy? And the first thing that they say, don't talk to me about regulation, man, please. Or don't approach dystopia, or don't throw dystopia at me, because they are, most of these marketing professionals, they really see these words, safety, privacy, as roadblocks. And they see roadblocks to what they do better, which is personalized, and mind you, I am a marketing professional, so I do use these platforms, and we do see these as personalized, targeted, roadblocks to a better marketing experience, and of course to overall better results. So it's not easy to convey the need for privacy and safety of data when, for instance, this data is the one that is enabling the professional to have the best possible experiences. Mind you, platforms like CRMs, platforms like customer data, like, for instance, customer experience platforms, all of these live off this data. So every marketing initiative today is data-driven or data-based, right? So data is also the one that enables measurement to happen. That's what digital marketing suddenly brought, right? And of course, AI, machine learning, is also run on, well, data. So it's this and the fact that it avoids experimentation and talking about regulating, talking about creating something that, a set of rules, it's always hindering, right? And that is hard, and that is the reason why it's hard. But at the same time, we all are aware, as marketing professionals, that we need to build the most safe and trustable environment within immersive worlds for other people to come in and to experiment, and to feel at ease. So that is why, right now, well, giving you like a fully blown notion of where we are right now. So we have talking about XR advertising, is talking about VR and AR advertising. So today we see growth in VR advertising, and we're also seeing growth in XR advertising. So to something like 4.3 billion in XR advertising. So, and mind you, if you see here in AR advertising, we'll see that it grew 200%. So this is great, right? Still, we're talking about, in this case, 3.9 billion, which is less than 1% of the total advertising spending worldwide. So still a lot to grow. But what formats are boosting this growth? So the issue is that although, for instance, entities like the Internet Advertising Bureau have published several advertising formats, for instance, this study was published a year ago. It showcases examples, but it's not really definite or measurable new formats. So, and this happens because the discussion about what these formats should be is still in the industry, right? So I copy-pasted some of the regulations that stand from before, from 2019, and you will see that, well, they do refer virtual reality ads. They do refer, again, 360 videos, interactive objects in VR, virtual rooms, and by virtual rooms, mind you, could be like free roaming spaces. But besides that, here in the augmented reality, they again talk about AR animations that are powered by markers, also powered by anchors. But at the end, as you can see down there, they say, so dynamic content offers content that may change based on the data that is available in the given environments. For example, time, location, weather, user data, or other data that may be used in other content. So what data are they talking about? We're swimming in it. So we are literally swimming in an ocean of data, and it seems like it's currently free for anyone to simply tap into it. Sometimes in the name of healthcare services, sometimes in the name of research services, or sometimes they just take it. So, mind you, this is the data that can actually create amazing experiences, personalized experiences that more than that can be really, really convenient for all of us. Now, this data, as you see, well, maybe you don't because it's, well, so spread around, but we're talking about not just the data that is being collected, but also the data that is being inferred from that collection, that is being processed, and that is being shared from both consumers and bystanders. And this includes personally identifiable data, along with sensor data and biometrically inferred data. So, by biometrically inferred data, mind you, we're talking about the ability to track biometric traits in order to establish conclusions regarding one specific profile or profiling of people. So, for instance, Louis Rosenberg, which is one of the AI pioneers and also an XRSI advisor, he shared in 2022 a study by the University of California, Berkeley, where 94% of the users were actually accurately identified through just 100 seconds of VR movement, right? So half of them were identified in the first 2 seconds of data process, right? So as you can see, the tracking of data can dynamically profile and generate the appropriate campaigns if you have the capacity and the tools to make as such, right? So again, this can mean that we can have neuromarketing on steroids. And these neuromarketing new tools that are becoming available, of course, they can use personal biometric data in a way that is neither purposeful, that is not consented, and that sometimes can diminish the agency of the users, can also be detrimental to them presently and in the future. So that's why it's so important for all of the responsible professionals to try and avoid this, because that's what impacts the most on the trust building that our medium needs for it to become available and for it to become available and used by the mass market. So the issue is that at this point we already have with the present formats a lot of challenges. But besides that, for instance, right now we're seeing many more appearing. Through the convergence of new technologies, for instance, let's say that you are in a VR world and you hear someone talking about this wonderful book that they were reading. It was really great. It was a book that changed their lives. And that wonderful co-author of that book, his name is Luis, and he has such an athletic body, and he speaks so well. And don't trust these guys. The issue is, we're talking about possibly these entities, which may be mixed with avatars by you. They are not avatars. They might be AI agents that are just there to spread a message, and they are triggered by your presence. Now, how do we regulate this? And you can't, because regulation always runs behind. Regulation is not the way to go to sort out all our problems, because, well, unfortunately, and we'll see, it's not something that is going to, happen before the problems start to become visible, right? Other issues, for instance, branded avatars. You are seeing right now a lot of branded avatars out there, and you for sure saw that at MetaConnect, I think it was like, I don't know, maybe less than a month ago, it was beginning of this month, we saw Lex Friedman talking to Mark Zuckerberg through this patented meta technology that can replicate up to 25,000 points of one's face. Now, these are 25,000 points biometric action points that can be identified. So micro expressions can be identified, and they can be, used for interactions, for campaigns. Now, I'm not saying that it shouldn't be done. I'm saying that users should be informed if this is going to be used for advertising, as in any other case. Same thing, they need to consent, and at the same time, they need to be able to manage both their own representation, both their interaction with AI agents, or all their experiences in branded virtual worlds. Now, the issue is, as we were saying, we are not able to create, to generate, to sort this out previously. So regulation is not going to sort this, save us, because, of the Collingridge dilemma that you see here. I believe that it's really, really important for us to take a different approach. And the different approach needs to be, first of all, establishing what we want. not trying to sort out what we don't want or trying to say or regulate stuff just by saying that that's wrong. No. We should first of all define that, then second of all, trying to get the baseline right and define, okay, so what are our goals, and then act upon it, and trying to create impact through partnering and trying to gather people around our goals. So that is what we're doing at XRSI, and that this is pretty much the invitation that I'm going to leave here. We are right now opening a new work group for XR advertising, and you are welcome to join us at, well, XRSI. It's a volunteer-driven work group, and hopefully we are going to meet. Our first meeting is going to happen in the beginning of November, and hopefully we will have our goals to share at the Metaverse Safety Week in December. Again, thank you very much for this, and well, and now I am open to questions now and after the talk. Thank you.
Okay, let's give a big round of applause. This is a really important initiative, and where you can get involved, please do so. So we have some questions here, so we're going to go ahead and bring the microphone.
Hello, thank you. I would like to know, where do you base into? Do you have in real life meetings?
So at this time, XRSI is North American based, although we are right now, we also have XRSI Europe with a presence in, I think it's in Milan. It's established in Italy.
Is it possible to create somewhere in the Netherlands maybe?
Of course.
Okay, great. Okay.
Pardon me because I missed a little bit of your presentation, but I'm just curious. I think the work that you're doing is very important, and with all the points that are being picked up, but seeing something like where a sponsor is Meta, right? And one of the issues is that it's the advertising agencies, right? And the business models of certain of these big giants that really, I feel personally, we need to kind of protect ourselves against. How have you found them being receptive, or at least people, maybe not specifically at Meta, but in these organizations where ultimately we're trying to protect ourselves from their existing business models? How do you approach them, and how have you found that they are being receptive, honestly, not just the lip service, but actually looking at how do we provide a better, safer type experience?
Thanks for the question. It's just the fact that that they are sponsoring this kind of shows that more than openness, there's a real interest in creating a dialogue and in creating spaces and enabling spaces for people to discuss. Now, it's really important to safeguard, and mind you, again, I am a marketing professional, so please say or hear everything that I'm saying also with a grain of salt. Because, or take it with a grain of salt, because the issue is that what I'm used to, of course, is to try and bring to my customers the best possible solutions. And of course, using platforms, pay-per-click advertising platforms, are part of that recipe. So our purpose inside XRSI, and also my purpose as a volunteer there, is not to challenge or to, at the same point, destroy or confront. It's much more to try and build together, us all, something that makes sense, and something that makes sense to everyone, and try and create the necessary spaces that and tools for people to make up their own minds in order to go somewhere and to be able to have or interact with a specific format or with another one. So at the end, I think it's all about creating spaces of dialogue, and that is clearly something that our industry has here, but we need to have more, and we need to have more diverse, and clearly, of course, Meta is at this point one of the biggest, if not the biggest, player in our market, so it makes absolute sense to have them on board.
Do we have any other Questions? All right. Please give Elise a big round of applause and thank you very much.